Just quickly, how do we get to having overly full inboxes? How did it get out of control? Just a quick background. This is a graph showing the pace of information overload. 66% of information overload comes via email. So we're getting a lot of information coming into our inbox, and it's hard to keep up with it because of the pace of it, isn't it, and the volume. So you can see how it's taken off exponentially in our times. And the effects that this have, firstly, the volumes that we're having to deal with. Some American research shows that the average number received and sent during a day is 108 a day. So that's 25,000 a year. What else do you do in the workplace 25,000 times a year? It's not coffee, is it? As a result of this, 60% say, hey, I'm just overwhelmed with the volume of information, the volume of email that I'm having to try and process on a daily basis. And 25% say, I'm not keeping up with my workload, simply by the sifting and sorting and the time it takes to work through the information that's coming into the inbox. When you've gone through that mental process, how long will it take, when have I got time, which would be the best time, suddenly you have a lot more control over getting it done. Anything that takes more than a couple of minutes, drop it in the calendar, because it is 81 to 82% more likely you'll get it done if it's in the calendar than if it's on a to-do list or the task list. Yeah? Who likes those odds? It takes a little more thinking up front, not a lot, but a little bit, but it saves you a lot more time at the back end because now you're playing catch-up because you forgot about it. When you put it in the calendar, you can add a reminder, you can change the subject line, you can add files, you can make notes for yourself, you can put a priority on it, you can make it recurring. There's so much more that you can do with it. And now you're managing the work that came in via email in one environment, and you're much more effective, much more likely to get it done. So it sits in the appropriate place until the appropriate time. The beauty about this is it then comes back to you. You don't have to think about it. Your brain can now let go of it because you know when you're going to get to it. When it's in the inbox, who finds they get nagged by, I know there's something there I've got to do? Yeah, your brain can't give up on the job until it goes into a system that you trust with a reminder. And then the brain can be freed up and you can concentrate on other stuff, knowing it will come back to you at the appropriate time. When it's in the inbox or it's in the to-do list, you have to find it, don't you? You can add a reminder, but that only tells you when it was due. It doesn't actually tell you when you're going to get it done. Yeah? Can you relate to that? So if you'll go through this process, what you'll find is it eliminates around 80% of the double handling. For example, if you ditch it, do you have to go back to those again? They're finished with other. If you deal with it straight away, do you have to go back to those again? If you delegate to someone else, do you have to go back to those again? Who likes this game? If you make a decision and put it into one of your folders, do you have to go back to that again? No, it's just sitting there like a piece of paper in a filing. If you ever need it, you know where to go, but there's no action. There's no further action. If you put it into your calendar, do you have to go back to that again? Not as an email. It's now finished as an email, it's been upgraded, it's now become a piece of work at a set time. So it sits in the appropriate place until the appropriate time. And so if you just go through this process and make one of those decisions the first time you touch an email, how many are left when you get to the bottom? 0. There's none left. Wouldn't that be great?